Hello, and welcome to another episode of Phantoms.
And Psychos.
Today, I'm going to be talking about a haunted doll. The doll, actually, you might have heard of it before. It has a few movies, I think 3. Annabelle, does it have 3 movies? I know one's coming out. Yeah, there's 3. Annabelle, Annabelle Comes Home, and Annabelle Creation. Annabelle Comes Home is the most recent one. Why are there so many movies about this one doll? Actually, the story wasn't as interesting to make 3 stories out of, but, Hollywood's got a Hollywood.
I know she's also in The Conjuring, so.
Yeah, it's the same paranormal people.
Yeah, which he passed away a while ago, but she just passed away recently.
Yeah. So. I noticed when I was researching it, I was like, oh, she just passed away this year. So
yeah.
Well, that sucks. But the Annabelle that's in the movie is a way creepier version than the actual doll, because it's not a porcelain doll, it's a Raggedy Ann doll.
Yeah.
But it's said to be haunted, and it's currently in a glass box at the Warrens Occult Museum in Monroe, Connecticut. I kind of want to go to Connecticut just to see it.
Let's do it. Let's plan like a whole haunted road trip.
That'd be so much fun.
It really would be.
Apparently, a student nurse was given the doll in 1968 by her mom. It's either a Christmas present or a birthday present. There's no real factual information on it. Like, some people say it was a Christmas present, some people say it was a birthday present. Some people even say it was a graduation present from graduating nursing school. I don't know what to say. There's a lot of different stories on how she actually got it, but it was a gift from her mom.
My question is, how old was she when she got this? Because I feel like past the age of 10, don't give a girl a doll as a present.
Oh, she was in her mid-20s.
Yeah.
But a psychic medium told them that the doll was inhabited by a dead girl named Annabelle. The nursing student's name is Donna. She has a roommate named Angie. And sometimes they would come home and find the doll had switched positions on the bed.
Fun.
So, Donna, the girl who got it as a gift, she came home with it, and she was like, a perfect place for this doll, for a person in their mid-20s would be on my bed.
I mean, have you seen how many plushies you have?
That's true. I cannot be judging, but I don't know. I feel like a doll's different than a plushie of a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
I don't know. I mean, her mom gave it to her, so it's kind of sentimental. I kind of get it.
I guess. But yeah, they would come home to find that the doll has switched positions. At first, it was just moving in the confines of her bed. But then over time, it started moving to different rooms throughout the house. So that's kind of creepy. And they both were nurses, both Donna and her roommate Angie. They were both nurses. So they had the same kind of hours. So one wasn't doing it while the other one was out. That's cool, right? Donna also claimed that she would come home and find penciled messages written in childlike handwriting on parchment paper. The messages read, "Help us, help Lou," Angie's fiance who'd been staying with them, and even more strange things that was written down. The weirdest part is they don't own parchment paper.
What?
So, she was like, I don't know where this parchment paper is coming from because I don't own this.
It's not like the doll can just go to the store and get parchment paper.
Maybe the doll already had it on him. Maybe it was in its stuffing somehow.
But don't you think you would notice that?
It's conjuring it up, just pulling it out of thin air, it's magic. I don't know. It's a little weird that she didn't have parchment paper, but the doll was writing on parchment paper allegedly.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Donna also once came home to find what looked like blood on the back of the doll's hand and some on the doll's chest. This is what prompted Donna to call in a medium for help. Just, casual blood. I mean, for all she knows, she was bleeding, in the middle of the night.
At least she called a medium. She's like, let's do something about this.
The medium held a seance and introduced Donna and Angie to the spirit of Annabelle, a 7-year-old girl who had played in the fields that existed where their apartment stood. Annabelle's body was apparently discovered lifeless in the field after an automobile accident. which is sad.
That's really sad.
Yeah. Out of compassion, Donna and Angie permitted the spirit to stay with them and possess the doll, which is nice.
Never a smart idea.
I will get to why that's not a smart idea.
It's
never a good idea.
Never.
It's never a good idea to just be like, yeah, stay with me. And like, you know how I feel about children spirits. It's probably a demon. Lou, Angie's fiance, was not quite a big fan of the doll. He was like, no, I think there's something off with this doll. He learned that it was evil. One night he awoke unable to move. He saw the doll at his feet and watched as it moved towards his chest and started to strangle him until he blacked out. That's creepy, but it sounds like sleep paralysis because he couldn't move and he was seeing some weird shit. Like, okay, I believe the doll's probably haunted or possessed or something, but I believe that little story is probably just like sleep paralysis. But that's not the only thing that's happened to him.
Yeah.
Another thing that happened to him, he entered Donna's room after hearing some noise to find the doll laying on the floor in the corner. He walked over to the doll, but he went to go pick it up, and he felt someone behind him. So he spun around, but no one was there. And almost instantaneously, he found himself falling over, grabbing at his chest, which started bleeding.
Oh, fun.
So that's definitely not sleep paralysis like I think the other one is. He found 7 claw-like scratches on his chest, 4 horizontal, 3 vertical, hot like burns. So it was 2 different directions. It's a little weird.
Interesting that you have 3 and 7.
Yeah. Well, it's 7, 4 horizontal, 3 vertical.
Oh.
So 7 total.
Yeah. So it's odd that you have both those numbers because, mocking Holy Trinity with the 3, but then 7's also considered a holy number.
Yeah. Oh, she was probably going in. They were also fully gone in 2 days. Like they healed pretty quick.
I mean, that's nice.
It is nice, but it's kind of suspect how fast they healed. The activity went on for about a year before Ed and Lorraine Warren became involved. After the doll hurt Lou, the Warrens came to perform an exorcism and cleanse the home. At Donna's request, the Warrens took the doll with them. They believe that the doll is demonically possessed.
I mean, there's obviously something not right with it.
Yeah. And after the doll came to the museum, the Occult Museum in Connecticut, a young man started to mock the doll, tapping the glass and challenged to put scratches on him, like Lou. Ed kicked out the young man, but 3 hours later, he died after losing control of his motorcycle and hitting a tree.
I mean, it's never good to mock spirits.
No.
Never a good idea.
Definitely not. There's some other things that I forgot to write down. Because, the doll also almost injured the Warrens when they went to go take it.
Didn't, their car wreck or something on the way home with it?
It almost did. Apparently, spirits do not possess inanimate objects. They possess people. An inhuman spirit can attach himself to a place or object, such as a demon. The spirit manipulated the doll and created the illusion of it being alive in order to get recognition. They believed that the spirit was not looking to stay attached to the doll, but was looking to possess a human host.
I mean, probably.
Yeah, that's fun. The doll preyed on the girl's emotional vulnerabilities, pretending to be a rather harmless young lost girl during the seance, which was allowed permission from Donna to haunt the apartment. See, that's why it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
They believe that the next stage of the infestation after harming Lou would have been complete human possession.
Fun. I mean, at least they got it out
for
in
about
time.
a year, actually, which is a long time to have something like that last. It's a whole ass year. They had an exorcism performed by Father Cook. He was uncomfortable with his role as an exorcist, but agreed to perform a 7-page rite exorcism, and he recited throughout the entire apartment until they were confident that the entity was no longer there. Upon leaving, Ed placed the doll in the back seat and agreed that he would not take the interstate in the event of an inhuman spirit residing in the doll. The Warrens felt themselves as the object of a vicious hatred. Each dangerous curve of the car swerved and stalled with every corner, causing the power brakes to fail. Repeatedly, the car verged on collision. Ed reached into the back seat, took out his black bag and a vial of holy water, doused the doll, making a sign of a cross over it, and the disturbances stopped, and the Warrens arrived safely home.
Isn't it, blessed every so often?
Yeah, it's also
How
kept in its own like special box, so like it doesn't get out
how often is it blessed? Do you know?
every 2 years,
Oh, okay.
which is like pretty often. It's pretty often.
2 years?
Yeah, every 2 years. You feel like it'd be less. I don't know.
I don't know. Especially with how infamous it is, it's
Yeah.
not surprising that often.
Now it's just a normal Raggedy Ann doll. The doll levitated a number of times in the beginning at the Warrens' home, and it began showing up in various rooms of their house until they had a special case built for Annabelle inside the Occult Museum, where she resides to this day, so we can go visit her. She's probably like the Robert the Doll, where you have to ask before you take a picture, or maybe you just can't take pictures with her at all. A few times a year, Annabelle will bang on the case, which is
fun.
At least she's in a museum now.
Imagine how bored she must be.
Oh my god, imagine just being a demon and being trapped in that doll forever. Just like resenting the paranormalists that put you there.
Yeah.
Ed and Lorraine Warren were like pretty big, and ever since like the Conjuring series started.
There's so many different paranormal hauntings that you hear of them working on and stuff.
Yeah, I will say that their website's a little creepy, but it's also like it has that charm where it's like from the early 2000s charm.
Oh, nice.
But I think the museum, they only do tours like every so often. It's not like you can just go there and show up and go in it. Touching anything in the museum is unallowed.
I mean, that makes sense. I'm not sure I would want to touch anything anyway.
Yeah. All items are extremely dangerous. Touching one of these items would be the opposite of touching something holy, is what their website says.
Nice.
Come see the shadow doll that can come into your dreams and stop your heart. Yeah, I definitely want to see that.
I mean, let's do it. I'm up for it.
Although Annabelle has been exorcised several times, it is believed her energy is still attached to the doll.
I mean, obviously, if she's still knocking on the glass and stuff.
Like, let me the hell out of here. Jesus Christ. I think that is all I have for info.
Got your own heartbreak, baby. You don't need to get caught up in mine. You got your headlights set for LA. I've got Houston for mine. How about a little whiskey in the backseat of your car, singing along to Johnny and Jim, babe. You soft out to my sweet disheveled car traction, just a little too late. In the sunlight, it's your lips. Every other time of day, it occurs to me that soon I'll be missing you. We don't need false hopes, baby. Still, I ain't dying for the truth. When it's all bound to change, I know what we're bound to lose. How about a little whiskey in the backseat of your car, singing along to Johnny and Jim, babe. You soft out to my sweet disheveled car traction, just a little too late. In the sunlight, it's your lips. Every other time of
You just listened to Missing You by Heart Crimes.
You can follow him on Instagram at Heart Crimes or find him wherever you listen to music.
Now back to the episode.
Anatoly Moskvin was born on September 1st, 1966 in Soviet Russia.
Sounded like a Russian name.
Yeah. His childhood was pretty normal mostly, and he was really smart, just very socially awkward, like most really smart people are.
Me. But I wouldn't say I'm smart.
But apparently one day he came home covered in bruises that he had reportedly received while being raped.
Ooh.
It's very unclear if he ever told his parents about the incident.
Yikes. That's never fun.
Yeah. His parents would try to, like, question his behavior and, like, ask what was going on, and he'd get apparently really aggressive.
Typical parent things. So he was being a typical teenager, and his parents were also being typical parents.
This was, like, before he was, like, pretty young at that point. But, like, he'd just get aggressive, so his parents are like, okay, whatever. Apparently, even from a young age, he spent all his money on books, and he taught himself new languages.
That's really cool.
I can't even learn a new language.
You could if
someone
you tried.
else teaching me. I just have a very hard time concentrating on one thing.
I have to really speak it. I have to speak the language with someone else, or I'm never going to remember it. That's why French, I can literally only read it. If you spoke to me in French, it would take me so long to figure out what the hell you were saying. But if you wrote it down, I could figure it out really fast.
Yeah. So, now this is according to him. He first became interested in the occult and the ceremonies at age 12 while collecting waste paper with his school. Apparently, recycling was organized by the government in Soviet Russia.
That's pretty nice, actually. It's a weird thing to focus on, but I guess it's pretty good for the environment. Thanks, guys. Thanks, yeah. Soviet Russia.
On this trip, he wound up in someone's yard where he witnessed, apparently, it's either dozens of figures in dark robes or two men in dark suits grabbed him.
Big distinction.
Well, there were more figures there, but like two guys in dark suits just came up behind him and grabbed him and pulled him towards the rest.
So is there like some weird like occult ceremony happening?
Just wait. It gets a lot weirder.
Okay.
Apparently they were singing in a foreign language and holding lit candles over a coffin. One of the figures grabbed him by the shoulder as he was backing away and insisted that he kiss the face of the dead girl in the coffin.
What? He just walked in some weird ass shit.
Yeah. The girl was Natasha Petrova. She was age 11. She apparently had died while trying to get out of, I guess, the shower or bath and accidentally got electrocuted instead of grabbing a towel.
How do you accidentally get electrocuted instead of grabbing a towel?
I guess she, like, when she went to reach for the towel, she accidentally, like, hit some faulty wiring or something.
Oh, yikes. It's not fun.
Yeah.
You think if there was faulty wiring in your bathroom, you'd be more careful about where you're grabbing?
He kissed her on the forehead 3 times, and then a copper ring was placed onto his finger, and a wedding band was placed onto her finger.
So he married the 11-year-old corpse?
Yep.
Why would you kiss it? Is it like because he was forced to?
He was forced to.
Because even if I was forced to, I don't think I'd kiss a dead body.
So he married a corpse,
but
fun. He got compensated for it. He got a basket of fruit and a small sum of money that he spent on a new book about animals.
How much money did he get?
He did not tell me.
Oh. Well, enough for a book, which, that's cool.
Also, he was told to not tell anyone for at least 40 days.
Why 40 days?
I have no idea.
So weird.
Yeah.
Also, that whole thing is just weird.
Yeah. He went on to become a historian and a linguist.
Linguini. He became pasta. You mean
A linguist. No, is that right?
Like
God.
linguistics?
Yeah, that.
Linguistics?
He also taught college.
Nice. Was his marriage to the corp legal? Like, did he?
No, there was no paperwork or documents on it or anything.
Okay. That's just odd.
He was also a self-proclaimed expert on cemeteries.
What makes someone an expert on cemeteries? Do you know the difference between a graveyard and cemetery?
No, I do not.
Cemetery is symmetrical. Graveyard is not.
Oh, fun. So, police started to notice a lot of grave robbing happening. So, they were trying to find out who was doing it. Apparently, they even went to Muscovine for help at some point.
Was that like a nearby town?
No, that was the man.
Oh. I'm so stupid. German names all just sound like towns.
But, he was a college professor, knew a lot of stuff, was smart. So they're like, oh, we'll get him to help.
Okay.
But anyway, he ended up being arrested on November 2nd, 2011, after he was caught at I think someone found him sleeping in a grave one morning.
Creepy.
Yeah. Well, he had just robbed it. And it's like he'd go at night and rob a grave, and then sometimes he'd sleep in it and then try to get up really early and leave. But apparently 2 drunk grave diggers found him one morning when they were on their way to work.
Oh my god. That's kind of hilarious.
So when they went to search his house, they found 29 mummified corpses in the house that he shared with his parents.
Did his parents know?
He called them his dolls. And
oh my god.
He would dress them up, and if you look at pictures, they do not look like corpses. They look terrifying, but you would never assume it was a dead body.
Wow. Not a real story, but it kind of reminds me of the Supernatural episode where the guy took home all of the dead bodies from the morgue that he worked at to make them his friends to attend his birthday party.
I mean, yeah. I think he thought of them more as daughters.
That's so...
mind you, these bodies belong to young girls between the ages of 3 and 25.
Even as young as 3? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And mind you, he would not just take the clothes they were buried in and use those. He'd go rub other graves and use those clothes to dress them up.
I mean, if he was that dedicated, he could just bought clothes for them.
Nope, not how that worked.
Strange.
He would throw tea parties to celebrate their birthdays, and he'd also put them in front of the TV to watch educational shows.
So he treated them like they were alive?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the episode of Supernatural, the guy that took him to his birthday party. He dressed them up for tea parties and stuff. And because he it's an episode of Supernatural, of course, but because he dressed them up, all of the spirits that he took, they were trapped inside of his house. So I wonder if it was the case for this man.
So he says the reason he did it was he felt great sympathy for the dead children and felt they couldn't be brought back to life by either science or black magic.
So he wanted to try to bring them back to life with black magic.
Yeah.
Or science, Two
whatever works first.
Let's try some necromancy, and then we'll try the Frankenstein thing.
Exactly.
Necromancy first.
Always.
Always necromancy first. And then you do the science thing.
Apparently, there's even this quote where he said that the parents left them out in the cold and he brought them in to warm them up.
Ew. What? Ew.
Yeah. So,
How did was he in a basement with his parents' house?
No.
Was it just a room?
Yeah. I think he also had them in the garage. But
How
like,
did that place smell? It couldn't have smelled nice.
probably not. If you look at the pictures, they're super creepy, especially because you do know that they're corpses.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like attached to every article about him.
That's fun.
He was determined to suffer from paranoid schizophrenia and deemed unfit to stand trial. He was put into a psychiatric clinic, and his sentence was to be reviewed regularly. Every request for an extension on his treatment was approved as of 2019, so he's still there.
He's still alive, too.
Yeah, I mean, he was only born in 66.
Yeah. That's like a few years older than my mom.
Yeah.
You think like something like that would have happened like earlier years?
I mean, he was arrested in 2011.
Yeah.
One of the bodies he reportedly had for like 9 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
But I guess no one really like notices graves. And like one guy digging a grave all by himself, that's like a lot of work. Dude must have had like a really good upper body strength.
Yeah.
But I mean, he did take all night and then sleep in the graves, so.
And like he would travel to different cemeteries to do it.
Oh my God.
He'd travel up to like a certain amount away.
My dude was dedicated to the craft.
Yeah.
Weird craft, but he was dedicated.
Also, he didn't have a car.
Then how did he get there? How did he take the body?
He'd take like a large duffel bag with him.
Oh my God, yeah, he did have
and
some
take
like
a bus.
wildly good upper body strength then.
Yeah.
So, weird guy now is in a hospital to get help, hopefully. So,
yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Phantoms and Psychos. If you'd like, you can follow us on Twitter at phantoms_psychos.
Or Instagram at phantom_psychos.
You can go to our website, phantomsandpsychos.com.
Or you can donate to our Patreon at patreon.com/phantomsandpsychos.
Have a spooktacular day.